Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining. Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with Nicholas Thomas. Nick is currently working at the Frederick County Sheriff's Office as a patrol deputy. Nick, thanks so much for taking your time and sitting down and having a conversation with me. I hope you all find it as intriguing and informative as I do. Enjoy. Nick, thanks for sitting down and talking with me, brother.
Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah. So, we'll start off with this. Your name is Nick Thomas, and you are currently running for mayor of Westminster.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about why you decided that this was a move you wanted to make.
So, a couple of years ago, I tried to open up my own business. It was a federal firearms license out of my house. I went through the approval process initially. It went to the Board of Zoning. It was case number 23001. If anyone wants to go onto the YouTube channel and check that out. It got approved initially 2-1, and then about a month later, after I had paid for the business license and the insurance and all that good stuff, I was in the process of getting ready to send the application in to the ATF. I got a phone call from the city government saying that my case was going to be retabled. They didn't really tell me why, but they just said it was going to be retabled. So it got retabled in October, and then in November of 2023, that's when the final hearing for it was. And I had Councilman Rob from the city of Westminster come out and basically state that due to City Code 146-003,
I'm listening still.
it would be illegal for me to open up my business based on that. So based on that, it went to a vote. I unfortunately wasn't able to show up to the meeting because I had to work. I unfortunately got held over. So it got shut down. So a little bit of background on that. The city code, which is the one thing that I really want to end up changing, states that any business that's operating out of a residentially zoned property within the city of Westminster cannot sell commodities for monetary gain. So, in short, you can have a landscaping business where you don't exchange goods for money. You can have any kind of a business at all out of there. However, if you want to sell something like Tupperware or Cutco knives, or if you want to sell trinkets for whatever reason, you cannot sell them out of your house. So I had an issue with that because that was one of the problems that came up during the September meeting. And I pretty much explained it away as to why, I should be offered a variance for it. And like I said, in September, I got approved. And November, I got shut down based on that. The problem that I have is there's been a lot of businesses over the years that have started in people's basements, in people's garages, spare bedrooms. Businesses like Microsoft, Amazon, Black Rifle Coffee, you could pretty much name it all. And the reason why they do that is because if you're just starting up, unless you've got grants or you've got a large nest egg to kind of tap into, you don't have the capital to be able to open up a storefront. You don't have the capital to be able to break ground on a warehouse or rent a warehouse, storage unit, whatever it is that you need. The only facility that you have is your home. So did a little bit more digging, and I found out that the city codes really haven't been revamped or changed in since the 1980s. I understand why those city codes are the way they are, because in the neighborhood that I live in, I don't want to live next to a storefront. I can completely understand that. But there's also no reason why in today's day and age of the internet and mail order businesses and all that stuff, why someone can't start a business out of their home. So I met with the mayor in January of 2024, and I presented her with my research. And I found a total of 16 businesses that are operating with basically the same business model as I do, or as I was going to. They're currently operating in the residential zoned areas, out of people's homes. And I found this based on the Maryland Comptroller's Office, and also the zoning map that's also on the City of Westminster website. And there's 16 different businesses that are operating. And I presented it to her. And I said, look, these are the businesses that are already operating. I get it that they probably didn't ask for permission, probably because they didn't know. However, in the words that Councilman Hoff brought up was, he basically called me a criminal if I was going to start it. And that's not right. So I'm not looking to shut down those businesses that are already established, because obviously they're there and they're working, or else they wouldn't be LLCs, they wouldn't be registered with the Comptroller's Office. So she took that and said she would look into it. Something else that I also saw was, I believe, I'm going to need to double check, but I believe it's City Code 153 or 156, states that any issue with a Board of Zoning decision that is made needs to go through the Circuit Court of Carrol County. The problem was the Board of Zoning already voted my business to start back in the September meeting, and very shortly after that, it went directly back to the Board of Zoning. Never went through the Circuit Court of Carroll County. That's obviously not a good thing, because they're completely they're completely circumventing the city codes that Councilman Hoff was accusing me of being a criminal for. I don't necessarily think that's right, and when I presented that to her, she said, well, based on this, are you going to be filing an appeal to the Circuit Court of Carroll County? And my answer to that was no, because I don't think that the decision that was made in November should even be standing, because it never even went to the Circuit Court of Carroll County. So she took down my name and info. I thanked her for showing up to me, because it did take a couple of months to get our schedule squared away where we could actually meet. And she said she would get back to me. A couple months go by, haven't heard anything from her. I emailed her. She said that she's been sick. She wasn't able to get hold of it. Totally fine. I understand that illnesses happen. But she promised that she would get back to me. A couple months later go by, still haven't heard anything. She tells me that she's going to get Mark Depot to give me an answer. And now it is 2025, almost a year and a half later, and I still haven't had an answer as to why. So, if you want to be the change that you want, and you don't see anyone else doing it, step up and do it. So that's why I decided to run. A lot of the issues that I'm running on are very apolitical. They're not conservative. They're not liberal. They're not Republican. They're not Democrat. They're not Libertarian. They're net benefits to the city of Westminster and the people that are here. And I don't want to come in and completely strip mine everything that she's done, because I don't think she's done a bad job running the city. But there's some things, such as being accountable to the people who elected you, and at the very least getting back with an answer of yes or no. If the answer is no to whatever issue you have, that's fine. That's completely fine. No one is ever going to be completely happy with every decision that's made. And I'm fully capable of saying no, and I'm fully capable of saying yes. But at the very least, you just need to have an answer. And I think that's only fair.
Yeah. So, you said that you think Mayor Becker's done some good things. We'll start with that. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's go through some of the things that you think have been going well here in Westminster that she's been a part of.
Yeah, so the main thing actually happened pretty recently. She was vehemently opposed to having the drug rehab center open up near Carrol County Hospital.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So that was an outside company that wanted to partnership with the city, with the Carroll County Hospital for long and short-term drug rehab. I don't have an issue with anyone needing the help that they need to get off of their addictions. The issues are none of those beds, as far as I could tell, were going to be dedicated to the to the citizens of Westminster. They were going to be from outside, so places like Baltimore, Eastern Shore, Hagerstown, everywhere else, but not Carroll County.
So they would be sending people into Carroll County, into Westminster for treatment, and none of those people would be Westminster residents.
Correct. So, I've dealt with the drug rehabs very, very minimally, but from what I know to be true, you take someone out of their hometown to give them a different perspective. The problem is, drug rehabs are not jails, they're not prisons. So at any given time, if that individual wants to leave, they're not being held there, even if there's a court order. Unless, of course, it's a psychiatric facility, which this was not going to be. And if the person wants to leave and they don't have the support structure, or they don't have someone to come get them or bring them back home, where do they go? They go back out on the streets. Yeah. And then what happens when they go back out on the streets? If they want to reoffend or they want to go out and get high again, they're going to find it. And then they're going to increase the crime rate. Eventually, it's going to put more strain on our fire and police officers, and it's going to be just downhill from there. So that was certainly something that Mayor Becker did good, that I would have done exactly the same thing. And that was an absolute positive. Something else that she's done, she started to revamp the Wakefield Valley Golf Course. I'm very big into the outdoors. I hunt, fish, hike, kayak, all that. And currently we don't have very many large parks, which are kind of an attraction for the city of Westminster's people. So what she did, she's revamping excuse me, she's revamping the clubhouse. The clubhouse is also someplace where we'll be able to hold events. That'll also be an extra stream of revenue for the city. Extremely good idea. The thing I probably would have done differently, and as far as I know, it's not in the plans. I'm sure it is, but I haven't read anything yet. Would be to revamp the cart paths, re-asphalt them, definitely do some more landscaping around there, make it an actual pretty park for people to walk around, bike. There's also nothing in there about revamping the ponds, restocking the ponds for fishing. Like I said, I'm sure it is in the plans. I haven't read them yet, but that would be something that I would be very open about and want everyone to know about. So
good. So we'll start with this. Tell me a little bit about your career path before this, and then maybe a couple of things that you have experienced in your career that you think would be helpful in this role as mayor of Westminster.
Yeah. So I've been in public service since I was 18. I started as an EMT. I started working for a private ambulance company and did that for many years. I climbed up the ranks and ended up driving for critical care trucks. And then after that, I got a couple of fire certifications and joined up at a volunteer firehouse and did that while I was also concurrent with being an EMT. And then in 2018, I started working, for 2012. I'm sorry. In 2012, I got hired with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. I started working there as a correctional officer. In 2018, that's when I got pulled over to patrol side. And I've been a deputy sheriff ever since, with the same agency. In that entire time, I've seen people who have been at the worst days of their life and handled everything accordingly. And the one thing that's really taught me is that everyone's different, but everyone wants to be treated exactly the same. Some of the more administrative levels that I've handled, I was a quartermaster for my firehouse. So I was in charge of ordering and disseminating equipment to the members. And I'm also a field trainer for the sheriff's office as well, and I'm also on the drone team as well for a search and rescue, which is it's a newer program that we just started up in the sheriff's office. It's still in the beginning stages, but it's definitely it's one more thing that we can do to kind of help the people around.
Good. Tell me, what do you think is one thing, you talked to me about your situation with your in-home business. Tell me one thing you're a little bit uneasy about if you get into this role. Brand new, you don't really know the lay of the land. Mayor Becker is obviously an incumbent. What is something that you would be concerned about, your own knowledge base, and where you would look around you to have people help you out?
The main issue that I think that I would be filing is I'm taking Mayor Becker's spot, and her and the city council are very tight. They work very well together. That's how we can have a safe city to live in. So I feel like I would be looked at as kind of the outsider coming in that just wants to change things. And a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, they're kind of against change, which is understandable. I mean, if you look at the current political climate, I mean, I'm not running for the federal level, but as we all know, everything is kind of going into a slash and burn, completely redo everything, and regardless of whether or not it was a good thing or a bad thing. That's not the thing that I want people to know. Like I said, I don't want to completely reverse every single thing that she's done. There's a lot of things in there that I want to keep the exact same. It's just I want to be able to put a framework in place to allow people to come to the city of Westminster and also grow. And I feel that at the very least, changing that one city code for small businesses alone will allow people to grow, allow people to move in, realize that we are small business friendly here. And ultimately, once a business grows to the point where they will move out of their house. And we will also have the ability to have them have a storefront, have a warehouse, and continue to grow their business, because this is their hometown, and this is where they got their start.
So for hometowns, where did you grow up, and how have you moved around a lot, or did you grow up and kind of live in a town most of your life? What's your path been?
So I grew up just south of BWI. It's an area called Severn, Maryland. Mm-hmm. I lived there all my life. My parents actually still live there.
Nice.
And I ended up moving up to Westminster mainly because the housing market was going haywire at the time. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, Westminster was actually a secondary thought. I've never actually taken into consideration moving into Westminster, because originally when my wife and I were searching for homes, we wanted acreage. And obviously in 2019, when I bought my house, the housing market was doing backflips. So we ended up settling in a neighborhood. Not exactly what we had planned, however, it was a place that we could move into without being house poor. And after researching the city and the crime rates and the availability to everything like grocery stores, fire and EMS, and just the general people, I realized that I had been looking in the wrong area, and that I should have been looking here all along. So I really should have moved here a lot longer ago. But decisions were made, and I'm here now, and couldn't be happier.
So you've been around Maryland quite a bit, so you got a good feel of the state.
Yes.
What are a couple of things that you've seen, whether it's with your work or just personal, in different counties or maybe cities like Baltimore, that you would very much like to avoid happening here in Westminster, and maybe a couple of things that you'd like Westminster to adopt or to maybe imitate a little bit more?
Well, You opened up the can of worms. Baltimore is not entirely a bad city. It's a city with bad parts. Now, granted, the administration for the city of Baltimore, I personally think, hasn't been that great. Some people might have a different opinion of that. That's totally fine. But the crime rates in Baltimore City are basically skyrocketing. And I've spoken to quite a few Baltimore City police officers since I'm also a deputy sheriff, and I talked to a lot of other officers. Their main concern is the reason why rates are skyrocketing for that is because they don't have the support that they feel that they need. A couple weeks ago, I spoke with the Chief Ledwig from Westminster City, just trying to get a kind of a feel of what kind of issues they're having, what kind of benefits they're having, and the report that he gave me was a resounding positive, because he basically flat out told me that they have nothing but the support from the mayor and the city council and also the people.
Good.
That's something that we need to keep, and if I'm mayor, he's not going to have any kind of waverance on that. Same thing with the fire service. We just recently went to a career fire service. Coming from a volunteer background, there is some animosity with that, just because a lot of the volunteers kind of have this mentality of the career guys are pushing us out of our stations. I can understand that mentality, but the issue is that with the rate that Westminster is growing, and the amount of people that we have coming through here as transients and also moving in here, we need a career fire service. Now, the career fire service is operated by Carrol County as a whole. It's not necessarily Westminster, but they still service the city. And again, their Chief Robinson is going to have whatever and all support they needs from me as well. One issue that Chief Ledwig from the Westminster City Police did express to me was his concern is they need to have growth that is concurrent with the growth of the city, meaning that they only have so many officers, and the city's also growing as well. So he needs better recruitment standards. He needs better retention as well. From what he could tell me, they didn't necessarily have a long-term plan for that, other than offering like signing bonuses and more hiring dates as well. But again, whatever he needs is kind of really what's going to is kind of what's going to come from me. Kind of basically the exact same thing that Mayor Becker and the current council are doing. So that's something that I would like to see here. Something that I don't want to see here, obviously, crime rates. Yeah. But if you implement the proper growth with the law enforcement and also fire and EMS, you're going to have that without an issue. And also, just general infrastructure. So currently Main Street is full of potholes. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a Mayor Becker issue, because they are running different cables and constantly doing road work. I mean, there's always a road truck out there doing something.
Yeah, I live right down near Main Street. I see it all the time.
Yeah. So our road guys are out there working, and that is not a bad thing at all. But I mean, obviously, like they repairing the roads, repairing the sidewalks, general tree pruning, just making everything look nice. And then there's also the issue of bringing in other businesses as well down in the downtown. We have a pretty healthy amount of businesses. Obviously, it could be more, and there could be more of an emphasis on like the mom and pop shops that you see in a lot of Main Street America. Obviously, we've got the 140 corridor with a lot of like larger big box stores, larger grocery stores. But there's also nothing wrong with having basically like the souvenir shops. There's also no issue with having other studios that are in downtown Westminster to bring people to the city center.
So if you're gonna be talking about creating a Westminster County, again, forgive me, Westminster County Fire Department, is that what you would call it once you finish it, or Westminster City Fire Department?
No. So it wouldn't necessarily be the city itself. No, just because it is run by the county.
Gotcha.
I don't think we have enough in the budget to be able to run our own city fire department, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because the county does an outstanding job of supplying their people with the equipment and the personnel and the training that they need. But it would be more so, what support does the county need from us, and what benefit would it be for them and everyone else that lives here.
So you talked about it probably not being in the budget. Tell me a little bit about the Westminster budget. Have you looked into it, first off? Are there any things that you see that you could, or that you would look to change, or do you think, as of now, it's running like a pretty well-oiled machine?
As of now, it's running very well. The only issue that I have, I can't remember the actual city code, but there's a city code in there that allows the mayor of Westminster to have the ability to circumvent the bargaining process for large-scale purchases. Someone hit me up the other day and explained to me that they feel that Mayor Becker has been pretty flagrant with her use of that particular city code. So when I went back to look into it, there was a couple of pickup trucks that were bought for DPW, and also, I believe, a front-end loader or a piece of heavy equipment that wasn't looked at as the bidding process. So basically, someone from the, let's say, roads department, not to single anyone out, this is just for an example. Someone from the roads department came in and said, "Hey, we need a new 1-ton truck for XYZ reasons. The one that we're running with has X amount of miles on it. It's costing too much to repair. We need a new one." We found one at such and such dealership. They have it there. They're ready to sell it to us. Okay, how much is it? Well, it's this much. All right, sounds good. We go ahead and buy it. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you're looking at it from an emergency standpoint. If it's just for regular use and that piece of equipment is okay and it can go basically another month of use before replacing it, there needs to be a bidding process. For instance, I'm a homeowner, and if I need a new HVAC system for my house, and I call an HVAC company out and they quote me $15,000, obviously that's a lot of money for a homeowner, a lot of money for anyone. It would be fiscally irresponsible of me to go with the first bid. I'm probably going to call up, at the very least, 2 other companies to compare and contrast. What are the benefits? What are the overall operational costs? What's the overall cost for repair if something goes down? How much it's going to cost it later on? And then from there, I'm going to make a decision. So that would be something that I would be very leery of enacting should I be elected as mayor.
You talked about at the beginning, you had your one issue, but you also said some people had reached out to you. Mm-hmm. Have you heard other similar stories or other similar concerns about accessibility to the mayor's office or to the council in general?
There's only been one other person that I spoke to. She actually had her issue resolved, although it was a couple of months after she had the issue. Basically, she runs a photography business right on Main Street, and the city was repairing the sidewalks, and in order to be able to do that, they had to erect scaffolding around her business and basically shut off her main entrance to her business. But the problem was they didn't give her a heads up. They didn't tell her about it. She just showed up one day and the guys are out there working. So it's good that you're repairing the sidewalks. That needs to happen, because it's a liability issue. It's a tripping hazard. Someone can get hurt, whatever. And they're obviously doing it right by erecting scaffolding around there, so that way people don't use that area as a point of egress. Her issue was the gallery that she runs needs natural light. And while she was doing her photo shoots, she didn't have the proper amount of natural light because a lot of her windows were boarded up or covered or blocked. She brought this to the city council first, and then it ultimately went to the mayor's office. The city government ended up purchasing natural lights for her, but the process took about 8 to 9 months for that to happen. So that's 8 to 9 months that she can't operate her business properly to the way that she wants to, and that also happened without any further notice of, hey, we're going to be doing this.
Did she have a timetable at all given to her of how long it would take?
No. From what I was told by her, no. Like I said, she did end up getting it resolved. The issue was how long it took, and I could maybe see a month, maybe. But the problem was her business is that unique that whatever building that she was in was specifically picked because of the shots that she was taking, and she couldn't operate within a couple of months. So I believe she had to outsource to different homes. That was also creating more of a financial stress on her because obviously your photo rates go up. And then there's also people that have already been locked in for X number of months, possibly years ahead of time, that she basically had to eat that cost as a loss. That to me is unacceptable. At the very least, make a couple of posts. Go directly to the business owners, let them know, hey, just so you know, such and such date and time, this has to happen, and we're going to do this. We just want to give you a heads up. That way she can also plan accordingly and say, well, I need to shut down between this month and this month. It's definitely going to be a financial hardship between those months. However, you're not taking that big of a hit.
In Westminster, let me rephrase this. If you do not win as mayor of Westminster, what in Westminster would you like to see continue on as it's going, or to see change? And what message would you tell Mayor Becker, if you could?
Well, even if I don't win, which granted is a possibility, possibly I could win, possibly I couldn't, but if I do not win, there's going to be no hard feelings. I'm not trying to run a smear campaign because, like I said before, I don't think she's doing a bad job. I just think there's other things that can be done as a net benefit. So any and all issues that I have that I'm campaigning on, that I'm letting you know during this recording, if the current Mayor Becker sees this and she wins, and she wants to, at the very least, give my ideas a chance, or give my ideas a thought, go for it. Because ultimately, I'm not running on any political issues. Yes, I have my political leanings. Obviously, everyone does. But I feel lately politics has kind of been a very polarizing subject to a lot of people, and it's pitting everyone against each other. And if there's anything that I'm running on that is a good idea, that should at the very least be looked at, go ahead and run on it. Go ahead and give it a shot. You don't even have to give me credit for it. It could be all you. I'm really not concerned with getting credit or going out and saying, well, this is actually my idea, it's not yours, I thought of it first, because that's no benefit to anyone. The main benefit of public service is for the public. Not everyone is going to be happy, but we can at the very least meet on middle ground, which is unfortunately a place that a lot of us are not meeting on, and it's just creating more turmoil and more issues.
So that's a message to the mayor. What would, and again, I I think it's pretty clear that running a city is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
You have council, you have the mayor, and then you have the residents who, if they don't voice up their opinions or their concerns, nothing's going to change regardless. So maybe what's I kind of set that for you, but what's one thing you'd like to tell the residents of Westminster? Maybe they could do differently to make this community better or stronger together.
Show up to the city council meetings. Even if you can't show up, you can at the very least look at it on the YouTube channel. Everything is posted there. Excuse me. Everything is posted there. It's all public, free knowledge. Granted, there are obviously some closed meetings, which is understandable. But every decision that affects you as a resident is posted. And if you have an issue, if you have a concern, if you have a problem, or even if you just want to say, hey, good job, I appreciate that, the city council emails, phone numbers, the mayor's email and phone number are all posted on the city website. Be involved. Like I said at the start, I have never had aspirations to run for any political office. But if you want to see change, go ahead and be the change. There's nothing wrong with expressing issues that you have, just so that way your ideas can get out there. Because let's just say I don't win this time around, and Mayor Becker is fortunate enough to win, and she continues on the same path she's going on. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing, but things could obviously be done differently. And the next person that runs for mayor, whether it be me or someone else, if they know those issues that I'm bringing up that you possibly agree with, and they're not being implemented, that next person will also have a platform to run on, as well as whatever else that they're running on as well. So it's best to just get the word out, and just to be a part of the people who are running your town and your elected officials. There's absolutely nothing wrong with questioning anyone of authority. This goes for police, this goes for fire, corrections, politics. We are here for your safety, security, and help. And if you don't tell us what's wrong, or you don't tell us what your issue is, we're not going to know. So in that case, it's more so no news is good news. So just be a voice and tell us.
Nick, thanks so much for sitting down and talking with me. I appreciate your time, and good luck with the mayor race.
I appreciate that. If I could just say one more thing.
Please.
So a lot of people have reached out to me. I'm running a completely self-funded campaign, which means I'm not accepting financial donations. There's no bumper stickers, there's no signs, it's literally by word of mouth. I did that just because of the simplicity of it, and I feel that it's a lot more of a connection with people that might see a sign, yeah, okay, this person's voting for that person. Well, ultimately it doesn't really matter, because it's ultimately going to be your issues. If you happen to get a phone call, which I don't think has happened, however, there are people out there that are scammers. If you happen to get a phone call that's soliciting money for my campaign for my benefit, that is a scam, and you should report that to your law enforcement agency. Just want to make sure everyone is aware of that.
Good. All right, Nick, thank you so much.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you all for watching. And Nick, thanks again for sitting down with me. I look forward to having many other interesting types of conversations, and I hope that you all will stick around to see them. But until the next one, stay informed.